Hi, I'm Warren Pohl, one of the co-founders at 33 Shake, and welcome to the 33 Shake vlog. Today's video is all about coffee and athletic performance, because coffee is a brilliant performance aid when used properly. However, if you start using it wrongly, you're going to get some major pitfalls, and we're going to be looking at exactly how you can maximize coffee benefits and minimize any of the downside. Because at 33 Shake, our mission is delivering maximum value to endurance athletes. And we do that in these videos by sharing the very latest in nutrition, training and mindset tips for your performance. And we do it in store at 33shake.com with our game-changing natural sports nutrition products. Now, with that said, let's get on with the show. So there are a lot of unhealthy people all around the world pouring down an awful lot of coffee. And that is hardly a great sign that the black stuff could be something really good for athletes. However, used properly, coffee is a very powerful and tasty tool that any athlete should keep in their toolkit for deployment at the right moment. Because coffee is very valuable for athletic performance. Its main benefits are that it will help the muscles to use fat for fuel. So it's basically going to help with that fat metabolism for your fuel, which is going to increase your efficiency, which for any aerobic athlete, building this base is the absolute foundation of performance. On top of that, caffeine lowers perceived effort. So how hard something feels, it's going to feel a little less hard with a bit of caffeine in there, which is going to allow you to go a bit harder for a bit longer. And on top of that, coffee also provides a short-term mental and physical energy boost. So used at the right time, a very good thing for all of us runners, cyclists and triathletes. So as an athlete, when should you be drinking coffee? Because if you look at all those benefits, it's pretty easy to build a case that says, well, I should probably be drinking coffee all of the time, as much as possible. Clearly, that would be a bad thing. The downsides of coffee are very quickly going to take over here. You're going to get a major addiction problem. Headaches are going to start kicking in, palpitations. Frankly, you're going to be a nervous, gibbering wreck as opposed to a high-performance hero. So when it comes to coffee use, really less is more. What you want to be aiming for, ideally, is 1 cup of coffee a day. And even less is even more. What I mean by this is it's good to occasionally give yourself a block of a few days, maybe even a week, where you go complete cold turkey on the coffee. And the reason for this is you can then use this as a technique before races. By coming off the coffee in the lead up to the race, the body is going to be ultra sensitive to that caffeine when you do need to use it for real. So you're going to get more bang for your buck out of the same coffee. And then the other thing you want to do is avoid coffee in the afternoons. As a basic rule, don't take anything with caffeine after midday. Reason for this is after that point, it will potentially start to disrupt your sleep. And as sleep is where we do most of our recovery. And as recovery is where the body is rebuilding to become fitter. I mean, training doesn't make you fitter. Training breaks you down. The recovery process makes you fitter. What you want is the best possible night's sleep. And coffee in the afternoons and evenings can start to impact this, which will hurt your performance. What about in races? How should you use caffeine in a race? The best way to think of coffee here, or caffeine, is as a single-use get-out-of-jail card, okay? You should really not be banging endless amounts of caffeine throughout the race. I can't remember who it was who said this, it's a beautiful line though. When you use coffee or caffeine, you are borrowing energy from the future, and that debt will need to be repaid. So in the case of a race, it may spike your energy up, may give you an extra kick, but there's going to be a drop on the other side. And for this reason, you only really want to be using anything with caffeine in it towards the later stages of a race, so that when that does wear off, you've already finished. Also, that's where you're likely to need it most. You know, where else do you want to bring down the perceived effort? It's really in those last stages when the race is getting really hard. The only exception to this is really long distance ultra endurance events, 100-mile ultra marathons, that sort of thing. Events where you're going through the night and will still be going the next day. This is where a shot of coffee or some caffeine as the sun comes up is a really brilliant way of reminding your body, reset, you're awake, it's another day, let's go. I mean, as the sun rises anyway, that is a natural sign to the body's rhythms to kick in again. But the coffee can just help reinforce that, which can really help you keep going through the next day of your event. So, what sort of coffee should athletes be drinking? If we go into many popular coffee shops, not naming any, they're all doing about the same thing, you will find these giant double salted caramel frappuccino latte knickerbocker glory things. They're not going to help anybody's performance. If that's what you want, be honest, go get a tub of ice cream. But if we're talking coffee, the best options for athletes: 1, the espresso. That's hardcore. It's just a shot of coffee, no messing, nothing else in it. Beloved by Italians and cyclists everywhere. Next one on the purist menu, it's the long black. That's the espresso shot, just topped up with water. Plain black coffee. Some people find this a little more palatable than an espresso, and it's certainly a longer drink, but you're not mixing any other garbage into it either. Then we come to the cappuccino and the regular white coffee, and frankly, this is as fancy as you want to get. And as far as we're concerned at 33 Shake, wherever possible, you want to be avoiding milk and using an unsweetened milk substitute, such as almond milk, for example. Now, this is a much bigger story. The whole dairy thing is, we'll be doing a separate video about that. But the reason you would be keen to avoid dairy where possible, and we get it's not always possible out there in the real world. Not every bar has decent almond milk, and that's why maybe a lot of people go for the black coffee instead. The thing about dairy, it raises acidity and inflammation in the body, which reduces recovery, increases injury risk. It doesn't help immune function, and on top of that, the vast majority of dairy products are from industrial dairy, which means they've come from pretty unhealthy animals, which are pumped up on antibiotics and a lot of other things. They're neither healthy animals nor happy animals, and the end product is not something you really want to be putting in your body. Like I say, really the subject for another video or podcast. But there's a little aside on that one there. The other thing you may want to look at is bulletproof coffee. You may have heard of this. What bulletproof coffee basically is a long black coffee with a big dollop of saturated fat whipped into it through a blender. So a lot of people would recommend either butter or ghee. For us at 33 Shake, from all of our research, diets high in animal fat don't do anybody any favours. However, there are benefits to bringing good fats into your diet. So our take on the bulletproof coffee would always be with a spoon of coconut oil in there. You've got the fat, you haven't got the downsides of it being animal fat. Anyway, what you do is you make your coffee, your long black coffee, you drop the spoon of coconut oil in there, and you whip it in the blender. It comes up super frothy and creamy. Now, it's a very tasty drink. Why would you want to do this? Reason being, you've added a little more substance to your coffee, and what the fat does is it just smooths out the burst of energy from the coffee, so it doesn't come on quite as quickly and it burns off a little more slowly, so it's steadier, and it just makes it a more enjoyable and potentially beneficial experience. It's a great drink for the morning that can really get you fired up. So coffee, caffeine and sports nutrition. Because of all the benefits of coffee, it is very, very popular, caffeine or coffee, in a lot of ordinary sports nutrition. Where this falls down, unfortunately, is both the products themselves are most usually loaded with sweeteners, junk sugars, and other crap you really wouldn't want to eat when you were lying on a sofa, let alone when you're going for it in a race. But on top of that, they're usually using very low rent caffeine sources as well. So you're not really getting any quality and very little benefit. At 33 Shake, our take on this is to put raw organic roasted coffee into one of our shakes, our mocha pre and post workout shake. So if you like some caffeine in there, that one will do it for you. And the other way you could do it is to use our Cheer energy gels, and instead of making them up with water, you make them up with a fresh shot of coffee. And seriously, with the organic vanilla that we have in there, that comes out as a beautiful taste, but it's also probably the best caffeine gel you would ever have. and would love to say thanks to the Italian cyclists who tipped us off to that one, because it's been an absolute winner. So there you have it. That is coffee and athletic performance. The two things do absolutely go hand in hand. All you got to do is get your timing, usage and quality right, and see those performance results come in. So look, I hope that's been really helpful to you, and thanks very much for watching. If there are any other topics that you would like us to cover in these videos, drop us a line in the comments below. Alternatively, you could connect with us on social media or drop us a line via email. All of our contact details and links are in the show notes before. And if you're looking for the very best in powerful sports nutrition for your running, cycling or triathlon performance, why not check us out? You'll find us at 33shake.com.